covered about his keister, I give you Tom Emmer. Think to yourselves. Think to yourselves about the excitement in this room. People want to tell us that the Republican wave ended on November 2nd, that we had these great victories in the Minnesota House of Representatives, in the Minnesota Senate, and in Congress. It didn't end. It just began, and this is evidence of the battle is engaged. The battle is engaged, and we are here for the long term. Somebody gave me this statement last night, and I think it really is important that we put it in this term. It is not just about the next election in 2012, 2014, or beyond. It is about the next generation. That's what we're here for, you and I. I'm here to talk to you about the Republican National Committeeman position that I would like your support for today. But before I do that, I want to thank all of you yet again. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, from Jackie's, from our family, for everything that you did on our behalf, and more importantly, on behalf of our cause, for the better of this state and this country. Thank you for everything. We are forever in your debt. Thank you. If I didn't add a special thanks to the best friend that I have in this world. And you may be surprised, that isn't all of you. After my God, it would be my best friend and my best supporter, Jackie Emmer. Thank you very much. One thing before I get to the Republican National Committeeman job that you're going to be evaluating, hopefully voting for in a few minutes. I understand we have some people amongst us who apparently go by the name of Anonymous. And apparently Mr. or Ms. Anonymous like to practice smear and distortion. Hey, Mr. Anonymous, anybody who knows this guy standing up in front of you knows that I am an outspoken critic of government health care, and I am deadly opposed to Obamacare, so let's stop with all of that. We are better than that. That is what Democrats do. That is not what we do, and we're going to make sure that from now on we practice a politics of unity, and we support the message that you and I, we all believe in, that's going to be better for our kids in the future. Now, that being said, I just want to say about my colleagues Jeff and Phil, I think it is time that we take a look at their birth certificates and we start to figure out. So what is it? The Republican National Committeeman and woman are one of 3 people that go to the national party and represent Minnesota and try to convince those folks at a national level why it is we must have national resources to supplement the resources we already generate here at home to win Republican elections in the state of Minnesota. What is important about this job, as I've talked to many of you, is that it is a 1-year term. Yes, we have great people, and I'm humbled to be one of them, that want to do this job. And yes, it does involve creating relationships, building relationships, and making sure that you have the relationships necessary to bring those resources home. But folks, with 1 year in this position, we'll all be back here in 12 months to do it again. We must have somebody who already has those relationships. And thanks to the wonderful opportunity that you gave me in the last 2 years, I have those connections, and it goes beyond Tim Paulini, it goes beyond Michelle Bachmann. It's Haley Barbour, it's Chris Christie, it's Mitt Romney, it's Newt Gingrich, it's Sarah Palin, and beyond. Those are relationships that is important to have. Those are relationships to build on, to leverage, and make sure we get the resources. There's one other thing, folks. It's very personal to me. I'm going to submit that I do, it maybe not more than all of you, but I do have an understanding of this state like nobody else who has done this. Remember, 2 years ago, the question was always asked to me, the statement question, it was, Tom, you are, if not the most conservative member of the Minnesota House of Representatives or the Minnesota Legislature, you're definitely within the top 3. That might be great to get endorsed by your Republican Party, but then you got to run to the middle to get elected. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to say we proved you do not have to run to the middle. a purple state. This is a red state. When you win the greater Minnesota, when you win Minnesota by 6 points just by taking out the city limits of Minneapolis and St. Paul, this is a red state. And somebody who has been there, somebody who has done that, somebody who can articulate that, needs to go to Washington and explain to these guys that Minnesota is not flyover country for Republicans. Minnesota is winnable. 98% of the money in our presidential elections is spent in only 18 states. And of that money, the vast majority of it is spent in just 6 to 9 states. Minnesota is not in the top 6. Minnesota is rarely, if I understand correctly, in the top 9. Minnesota must be in play. Minnesota needs the resources because I'll tell you, if we would have had the resources necessary to build out Minneapolis and St. Paul and enhance the grassroots network that you have created across this state, I would be in the corner office right now in St. Paul. Remember again, this is not about the next election. It's about the next generation. It is our values, our principles that will lead this country and this state back to prosperity. I ask you today to consider what I'm offering. I'd be honored to represent this party at the RNC. Thank you very much.